This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so we discuss M module, shell module, okay, copy module, so template module, service module we discussed. Okay, so in interview sometimes they may ask, so what are the modules you use in daily basis? So you don't want to buy it also. Just whatever modules we are discussing, just practice those modules. If they ask, just tell same thing only. Okay. So as of now, we discuss M, cell, copy, template, service. Then any other more? Okay. Same thing. Okay. So if you go, for example, template module. So here you can see that okay. So all the parameters. Okay. So the parameters already we discussed it for. I think M only we discussed it. Okay. For all same thing. Okay. For all the same thing, we will have some values, some parameters on that if you want. So here you can okay. So you can see attribute, backup. So before copying from one source to destination, so if you want, you can take the backup also. Okay, so destination. So you can see here, okay, so force copy something group mode. Okay, once you copy, okay, so for destination, if you want, you can change the permissions also. Okay, so you can change the permissions, all the stuff on that. Or you can change it, okay, you can always have a source to destination. You can see that syntax. Okay, so template, you can use template source to destination, and you can change the owner, all these things in the destination. Once you copy the destination, right, so you can change the ownership, the permissions, all the stuff. Now you can change it. Same thing, service model we discussed. So using service model, so we can restart or stop whatever. So okay, in servers. So okay, so here you can see you can enable the services. Okay, you can keep it in sleep mode also. Okay, state started, stopped, restarted, reloaded. I think already you know these things. Okay, so if you want to restart, you can start, stop, restart. So you can see syntax here, module. So your the service name, started or stopped or restarted, whatever you want, or reloaded, whatever you want. So you can put it. Okay. So all this goes through this documentation. So okay. So that is the thing. And variables also we discussed. Okay. So variables important. Okay. So they'll sometimes they'll ask, they won't ask. Okay. But practice it. Okay. Right. So take in your playbook. So in your playbook. Okay. Take this one. Okay. So this one only. If I run this playbook, right? So if I run this playbook, so here you can see the some that okay, that play name that's completed or changed or work or something like that. So if you want to see the actual logs, what is happening in background, so we can see that. Okay, whatever yesterday CSO asked. Okay. So that logs we can see. So here itself. So we will playbook for any task, for any one of the tasks. So whatever task you want to monitor logs, you want to see logs. What the, so register, register. Yes, I'm registering the particular task. I'm registering this particular task output into one variable. Whatever the name you wish. Okay. So whatever name you want. So output or my output. Whatever name you want. Okay. So you can put it. Means here, right? So this task output I'm registering into one variable. So then debug it. So where equal to so your output. That the variable name, whatever. So wherever you stored, wherever you registered, your output into the variable. So here in my case, my variable name is my output. Okay. Simple. Okay. So here, so this output, I registered into using register statement. I register into one variable. The variable name you wish, whatever variable name you can put it. Some name, that's it. And here I'm debugging, using debugging. So I'm debugging. So my variable. So if I execute this playbook, just execute this playbook. So you can see that in JSON format, you can see your output. So you can see the debug for the agent. Okay. So you can see some that. Okay. So whatever that one, the backend that are log. Here, right, already we copied. So that's why you can see the simple log only. Okay. So if you didn't, okay, for example, if I edit that one, so slash sample rate. Something. Okay. So I changed some content in that file. If you see now, we can see that different. Okay, different log. You can see here. So okay, change it. If you go, so deploying my sample web on debugging, you can see that my output. Okay, so let's check some destination. Okay, so all this stuff under whatever, okay, source, destination, that UID, state, whether file or something, ownership, all this information. Okay. See whatever job you want, so for that job you can enable the debugging mode. If you enable the debugging mode, so you can see the logs here itself. Okay. So okay, Shisha, Gaurav, Revati.
Yeah, and Ram, we cannot export that log file to like JSON log like that.
So for different file.
Yeah, so now we can able to see after execute the playbook, right? So I want to
Yes,
see
yes.
the log like any file like that. We cannot
Or
export that one.
we can export here itself. Okay. So just just comment this one. So Okay, for debugging mode, right? So if you use shell module, okay, for example, okay, just leave this thing. Again, I have to remove something, some name, that's it. So here, right? So for example, okay, so just to use any other module, just simple. So we have different module, the command module. Okay, command module. So raw or shell. So these three similar. Okay, same as you can say similar. Using the command raw shell module, so we can pass the direct command. So direct command. We can pass the direct command. Okay, so one command raw shell. Anything. Okay, so you can pass the direct command. So here, so if you want, just you can pass any command, any direct command, or some direct command, and you can redirect this output into one file, like Linux only, okay, whatever. So here, so you can do it like this also. Okay, Shisu, Gaurav, Revati.
Okay.
If we execute, extra open, fail, open, extra. What is error? End. Permission denied. Just use hyphen yes. Till permission denied. So wrong only tasks. Why permission denied? Permission denied. Maybe user bin. Sorry. User bin. Sometimes right. So we have to give the full obsolete path. Oh dear. Just use a different command. Just leave date something. Okay. Use different command. Make directly. Or no, some different command. Whatever ls hyphen l. Input column series. What if you want? Slash opt slash playbooks. Some command. Okay. Playbooks. Simple command. Maybe in some syntax error or something. You can do anything. Okay, so I can append or you can insert. Let's do the same thing. Let's see. Use temp only. We'll see. Why is the temp getting access denied? Okay, some permission denied. Okay, so why? Because maybe it's okay. So we'll just change the path. So home. So I will use my home directory. Okay, I will use my home directory. Sudo yes. Okay. Just use the RAM module, different module. And this is a command module, okay? For command module, so we have to use different parameters, different values. Okay. So that's just okay, just here I'm using RAM module. So you can use the same cell module also. Cell module also you can use it. So just try cell module. Cell module, yes. Do some different name, that's it. Okay, so save it home. So here I can see. So okay, so you can read it to some other file using cell model or RAM model. Okay. So this is okay, Gaurav, Revati, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's you see here, right? So input, okay. You can use the user inputs also. Okay, so you've seen in any technology, in Python or say script, so you can use some user input text. So like what is your name? Okay, so it will provide what is your name. So okay, user needs to give some is input text. So those type of also. So okay, in Ansible also we have that option. So user inputs. So okay, so that I will say that playbook. You can see yes, some written. So some written means so using this thing, so you can check your syntax. For example, take this playbook only. So whatever it is, this is playbook. So this is date playbook only. So here right using I check or just create a new playbook. today in a new playbook. So you can create new playbook. So just you okay, I will use first playbook. Okay, so what is this in here? So here, so okay, here present. So we are trying to install this thing, right? So I'm uninstalling. Okay, in my master, I'm uninstalling the. So for that HTTP Apache, I'll tell you why. Okay, I uninstalled here. If you use open check, right, this thing will collect dry run. You can check it will list out if any syntax errors. Okay, so if you don't have any syntax errors, then you can see here. You can see this one. I'll tell you here, right? So okay, in this playbook, so okay, I have some. I'm trying to install these things, right? Okay, whatever my Apache and the Git, I'm trying to installing it here. So here I use hyphen check means this thing will color dry run. So if any syntax error, it will list out some line, something, and I will show you. If you see here, if I execute my playbook with hyphen check, okay. So here you can see my master is showing it changed, right? But actually is not changed. You see that RPM command grep HTTPD, you can see the package is not there. But here, right, if you see, okay, the state is changed in yellow color. The state is changed. But you can see, actually, if you see in your server, nothing is there. This is not the actual package. Okay, so package will be already we saw it last time. So this is not the actual package. Just it will give some duplicate output or like mirror output. Okay. But actually in background it will not install anything. It will not change anything. Okay. So just it will give the so like okay, it's kind of duplicate or some mirroring output. That's it. If you don't have any syntax errors. If you have any syntax errors, then it will list out the syntax errors. So just the editor playbook. Just to give you any one syntax error. Just to give something. Just right okay, here, right? I didn't use space. I removed the space here. Just execute with if I check the data, I can see. Okay, so somewhere okay, so you can see the appending line appears to be. You can see here. Just it will list out the syntax. So where it is, where the error is there, something under. If you don't have syntax error, if everything is correct, then it will use that kind of duplicate output. But back end, it will not install anything. It will not change anything. Okay, Gaurav, Revati, Shesu.
Okay.
Yeah. So this thing is also important. Okay, in interview they may ask. So how to check syntax errors. So using F1 check, using the driver and driver, using the driver, you can check the syntax errors. Just 1 second, I'll put my charging. And also that you can so if you don't have any errors also you can check. So okay, if you that duplicate output. So okay, just edit this playbook. Okay. So just I corrected that my error. Okay, I corrected my error. Just again run the same playbook with F and check. So still you can see the change in master, right? Means here as per whatever the coloring or so the play, right? So you should install. But if you see here, RPM QA grep HLDPD, but so nothing is there. Nothing is there. Okay, so just remove F and check. Now it will install the actual. It will change the actual state. So you can see my actual package name now. So right, if you mention that if we execute playbook with a dry run, so it will not. Okay. If any syntax errors, it will restore. If everything is correct, then it will not install. It will not change anything in backend. Just it will show the kind of duplicate out. Okay, so this thing will kind of dry run. This is also important. So in interviews, they may ask what is the dry run and how to check syntax errors. Those stuff on that. Right. So we have one more thing that user input, right? So we'll see. Same that variables only. Prompt. I'll copy paste. So in every case, don't copy paste. So this is gather effect, right? So I will tell you later. Okay, I will explain now also. Okay, see this playbook. Already this so this thing right will call the target section. Already we explained, right? So these things will call the target section. Target section means in target service how to behave. So which is the name you want to log in. So all those stuff under. So connection is a such default. If you don't mention by default Linux to Linux, the connection will be SSH only. Here, right? If you don't mention also no problem. So the default Unix to Unix or Linux to Linux, okay. So the default connection will be SSH. If it is Linux to Windows, then connection will be WinRM. So that we'll discuss later in Windows. So here you can see gather facts. So gather facts. Just leave it, okay, sometime. So we'll discuss later. So here you can see prompt means we can prompt like kind of a user input. If you see any program language, Python, Shell script, or Java, set. So this was some user input, right? So it means users they can use their input. The input like what's your name, something, what's your age, what's your Aadhaar card, what's your PAN card, like user input. So here also in Ansible also we have an option, a prompt option. If we use the as prompt, it will prompt the user input. Okay, that some message. So then the users can give their input. In same in Python also we have, right? In Python, so we have input. We have input something. We have input function in Python. In shell script also we have that is the function name is what is the function name in area in cell the function name.
So read, I think.
Yeah, read. Yes, yeah, read exactly. Yeah, read. Okay, so same thing. Okay, same thing in. So here also in Ansible also we have the prompt. We have the prompt. We have the prompt method, the prompt function. The variable prompt, whatever the prompt or variable prompt, all this stuff. Okay. So if you see here, so I'm using that statement or this function, the var underscore prompt. So prompt, okay. Here, right? So if I execute this playbook, right? So okay, this message will display to user. Whatever, so wherever you're using the prompt, so okay. So this message will display to the user. So if you use a tab here something ABC, that the ABC will store into So this variable, this variable I'm calling here. Okay. So here, right, if I run this playbook, so okay, so this message will prompt to user, whatever this message will prompt to user. Okay. If user here, if user type something, some ABC, some whatever name, some ABC, this ABC will store into this package. So in this variable, So okay, I'm calling this variable to here. Okay, any questions here? Any confusion? Simple, right? So using prompt, right? So we can prompt some message to user. So okay, so user means this message will here in this case. So this message will display to the user. Here, if we and anywhere, right, user will type something. He will use some his input, right? For example, FIZ array, some ABC, some ABC. So this output will store into in this variable. Some whatever depends on variable here. So this variable, right, I'm calling here in my syntax and my code. Technical display book will come to know. So here I'm using the M module. So as per your request, whatever module you can use it. Not only M, right? Okay. Any module, okay, user creation, group creation, or service module, any module you can use it. So that's up to you to use the modules. For demo purpose, okay, so I'm taking M module here. Okay, so one more thing, right? One more thing, okay. So just okay here, right? I mentioned gather facts. Okay, just comment this one. Comment and remove it. Whatever you want, okay. Comment and remove both the same. So I'm commenting this thing. Okay. I'll say later. Just execute this playbook. You can see. So whatever, so the message I given, it pays a prompt. Okay. The message will display to user. So which package needs to install? If I give ABC, I'm typing something, but you can't see. But by default is private. By default is private. I'm typing something here. Okay. I given XYZ. Actually, we don't have any package with XYZ, right? So it will throw the error. Just enter. Again. So okay, I typed XYZ, but actually we don't have any package with XYZ. So it's failed. So here you can see gather facts, the default task. Okay, the default task. By default, the task will be true or enabled. Now go to your playbook. So remove that comment. So here I told you, right? So by default, the input will be private. If you want to see private, by default yes. Okay. By default true or yes. If you don't know, means you can see the user input. Okay, whatever he's typing. Now run same playbook. So you can see here before when I enabled gather facts. When I enabled gather facts, cat prompt. Okay. So when here right. So when I by default gather facts will be true or yes. Okay. So if it is true or yes, right? So you can see that this type of some output means by default it's gathering all the facts. Already we know what is the facts. Facts means just information. Already we know that. Okay, maybe in first class I think so. Okay, so we saw the first class. So we discussed that setup module.
Which one? Which one?
Setup module.
Oh no.
Okay, discuss, no problem. We'll discuss that. Okay, for no, government the first class, the second class. So we discuss the setup model. Using setup model, so we can gather the all the facts, right? Same thing here also. In your playbook, right? If you enabled, or if you mention gather fact, yes, or by default will be yes. By default will be yes. Okay. First, the very first task, it will gather the all your sister facts. Okay. If you want, you can use it in your syntax, but here as of now, I'm not using my facts. We will use later for that one. But right. So if you don't mention anything, or if you mention gather fact, yes. Okay. The very first task is it will gather the all the system facts, means all the system information. This information means version or whatever already we discussed it. So the time, date, user, RAM, memory, version, distribution, all this stuff under. If you want that thing, you can use in your playbook, in your syntax. As of now, I'm not using. We will use later. Here, right? So if you mention the gather facts is equal to no, okay? So it will not. So so it will not execute the first task. The difference is, for example, here I have only 2 servers. Here I have only 2 servers. Just assume that I have 100 servers. 100 servers. If we enable the gather facts, the very it will execute, right? So first, right, it will run all my 100 servers. 100 servers. Maybe it will take some time, right? 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay. If you don't require the facts in your syntax or in your code, just disable it. Mention no. Mention no means you can save some time, right? So okay. Here I have only 2 servers, no issues. 10 no issues. If you executing your playbook in 100 servers, 1,000 servers, just 1,000 servers, it will headache, right? Unless it will take some time. Okay, at least 10 minutes or at least 5 minutes, it will take some time. Okay, sometime you will get the error also. That's it. That timeout issues, all those stuff, and all we will get it. Okay, if you have large number of servers. So on that time, if you don't require the facts in syntax, then disable it. As of now, we are not using that fact set, so you can disable it. If you are using any fact, in the syntax, then we should enable. We should mention the yes. Here, right, as of now, we are not using any factor in my playbook, but we will use later. So on that time, right, you can mention no, or you can disable it. Gather factor is equal to no means the particular task will not execute, means we can see the some time. Okay, if I executing a playbook into so large number of servers, like 1,000 servers, 100 servers. Okay, then you can see some time, at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay, Gaurav, Revati, Sesu. Sesu, if you don't know the system facts, that we will discuss later.
Okay.
Okay, right. So here, right, okay, so it will okay, so you can see here here I'm typing some telnet. Now you can see the message whatever I'm typing here. Maybe because here I mentioned the private is equal to no. By default, private yes or true by default. Okay. If you mention private no means I can see the so now, right, now if we enter, so this output, this output or this input will save into this variable, whatever variable I define here. Okay, so in this variable, so this variable I'm calling here, right? I'm calling into my syntax. You whatever package you want to install. Okay, so I'll go till it. Whatever package you want, you can. Okay, so here I'm using M module. So okay, as per your request, so okay, you can use any module. Okay, right. So any questions here? Gaurav, Revati, any confusions, Revati?
Nora, we'll try it again, then I'll ask you.
Yeah, just practice one, okay, one or multiple times. Okay, so if any issues, right, just let me know. Just ping me in WhatsApp. I'll help you.
Sure. Sure.
So this is Gaurav. Yesterday you asked, right? So that replacing some values or entire block in one file, that will say next class. Okay, I will say you next class.
Sure, Ram. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the okay. Here, and if you see that your Google Drive, so I uploaded so many documentations. Okay, so you can practice it. Okay, so I uploaded all the documentations. Wherever you can see Ansible, right? So the documents I uploaded. Okay, so you can go the same thing, whatever we discussed, same thing, nothing new only. Okay, but some extra modules there you can see, some extra syntax, some explanation. That's it. Okay, so please go through without fail. Go to this PDFs also. Okay, so okay, so any questions? Yes, any questions? Yes.
No అండి ఈరోజు కొంచెం
Okay, so
ప్రాక్టీస్
condition.
చేస్తాను.
Okay, so conditions and loops we will see later. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so here, right, if you see, we have one more statement, include statement. You can include your YAML file into your playbook. If you see here, okay, okay, here is take any one playbook. Any module in the playbook. The modules that now you have to issue. Okay, so any module if you want, you can take it. So take any module. Take first. Take any one playbook. Here, right? So we have 10 minutes. So here I had two tasks. Just any task, two tasks, task 1, task 2. For example, right? So for first task, I will use some syntax error. Just assume that okay. So first, whatever something, just use some syntax error. Okay, here I gave some syntax errors. In first task I have syntax error, but in second task, right, I don't have any issue. Okay. So in second task I have the correct syntax only. Correct syntax only. Here if you see here, right, in my first task, okay, here, so I have the I remove a space. You can see I removed a space again, wanted level. Okay. In first task, okay, I have some syntax error, some error. In second task, I don't have any issue. If you execute this playbook, right, so my playbook will exit from here itself. It will not go to the second task. It will not go to the second task. It will exit from so the first task only. Why? Because in first task I have some syntax errors. Okay. So in second task I don't have any issue. I don't have any errors in second task. But it will not by default. It will not go in second task. It will exit. So from the play where you have that error. So if I execute this playbook, so you can see the same thing. Yes means I want sudo. If you don't mention sudo is equal to true or sudo yes in a playbook, in a command also you can mention yes. You can see. So okay, in my I have some syntax issue with my first task. Okay, my first task. So that's why my play is not going for is not moving to the second task. Okay. So here, right, to avoid this type of issues, so you can use the exception handling. We will call the exception handling here. So ignore errors, true or yes, whatever true or yes. No error, ignore errors. Okay, so here, right, just okay, here if I have any errors, any syntax errors, just it will ignore, and it will go to the second task. Now it will not exit from the play. My playbook, right, it will not exit from the play. Simply it will ignore the errors in my first task and it will go to the second task. Why? Because here I'm using some statement. So this thing will call the exception handling in Ansible. Ignore underscore errors true or yes. So run same playbook. So what happened? Some syntax errors. Okay. For these are some syntax errors. Just correct it. Ignore errors. No. Spelling mistakes. Yes, only, right? Oh, what is the error showing? Why it, no, it will ignore the error. It will ignore the error and it will go to the next task. But it is not going. Ignore underscore errors. 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 It's correct, right? Then why it is not going? Ignore errors. Any spelling mistakes here? No, right? Ignore, correct, right? Ignore errors. Ignore errors. Yes, only. Just try once again. Syntax error while loading YAML, but may inside in the depending line appears to be. It will ignore, okay? It will ignore. iPhone version. Sometimes it depends on the version also. Okay, I'm using 2.4. Try with a different error. So yes, I will use that. That only. Do something else. Just do some bracket something. Let's see. No, it is not working. Maybe change something. Okay, so maybe the version that we are using 2.4. In the version it should work only. Just 1 second. Yeah, what else? Take other playbook. So take any other playbook. Okay. Do true. Do true. Yeah. Just do some wrong one. Okay, you can see. Maybe we have some other issue. Some other issue. Okay. Anyway, here you can see. You can see my playbook, right? Okay, so here I give some source 1, 2. Actually, we don't have any source 1, 2. That is source only. The source, the syntax source only. But I give some error source 1, 2. If you give source 1, 2, because it just okay, so it's ignoring that error. Ignoring, and it's going to next task. Sometimes that in production also same thing. And sometimes okay, if you feel okay, some issues there, wanted some syntax error, some command error, the command whatever. If you feel some issues there, okay. So on that time, okay, on that place, so you can use this ignore errors. Just it will ignore that particular task and it will move to the next task. In the previous playbook, maybe we have some other issue. That's why it's not working. Just leave it. You can see here. Okay, Gaurav, Revati, Jason.
Yeah, Ram.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ram.
Okay, right here. So we'll see tomorrow. It's 8.
Okay.
So any question? Okay. If you don't have any question, then fine. We'll see tomorrow. Thanks. See you tomorrow.
Sure, Ram. Yeah.
Thank you.